Divorce only days old. My ex-husband brought his new bride in front of everyone to humiliate me. But the moment I recognized that woman, I stayed silent. An MY decision turned to steel. That moment still pulses somewhere in my body. I was standing in a grocery store parking lot, a bag of cheap milk and discount bread in my hand, when I saw him. My ex-husband, David, was walking in, holding the hand of his new bride. He was laughing loudly on purpose, as if he wanted me to hear, to see, and to break. He saw me, blinked, and his smile grew wider. That was the point. Just days after the divorce, he wanted to make me look small in front of everyone. I held my breath. And then I recognized the woman's face. My heart didn't race. Strangely, that moment didn't turn into a scream, it became a cold silence. As if someone had flipped a switch inside me. Her name was Caroline. I had known her for years, just under a different name. She was the same woman whose paperwork I had seen last year in a file, when I was working a temporary job, data entry, low pay, long hours. I had taken that job because David had emptied our joint account, blaming medical bills. At the time, nothing made sense. That day, everything did. I lowered my head, put the grocery bag in my car, and shut the door. David probably thought I had lost. He whispered something into Caroline's ear, they both laughed, and walked inside. I stayed where I was. My hands were shaking, not from anger, but from focus. As if my mind had quietly chosen a path. I am an ordinary American woman. I'm not a movie heroine. I have credit card debt, barely functioning health insurance, and after the divorce, paying apartment rent on time became a monthly battle. My mother says, time fixes everything. I know better. Time only creates space. The work is ours to do. The next day, I sat with my old files. The same laptop with the screaming fan. The same coffee that no longer had any taste. I searched for the email of the company where I'd worked that temporary job. I wrote a simple message, I need verification on some case numbers from last year. No drama. No accusations. Just a question. 2 days later, the reply arrived, and it turned suspicion into fact. David had moved the same amount of money he'd taken for a so-called medical emergency through a shell company, under his new wife's name. I had believed him then. Because in marriage, you believe, and that belief is its greatest weakness. Caroline wasn't new to this game. There was a history behind her, and now that history was sitting clearly in front of me. I didn't hire a lawyer right away. First, I steadied my breathing. I opened my apartment window. I heard children playing outside, a lawnmower humming, life continuing. I thought, if I make noise now, I'll become exactly what they want to see. I needed silence, but not the weak kind. The steel kind. I didn't message Caroline. Instead, I contacted her former workplace, an old HR connection I'd once shared coffee with. I asked one question, do you remember that file? The response came back, we settled that case. But some documents were left out. I requested those documents. Legally. No tricks. Just the truth. David called me. Are you okay? His concern was fake. I said, yes. Nothing more. He tried to continue. I ended the call. That day, I paid my bills, bought cheap pizza with what was left, and allowed myself to cry, but not scream. Weeks passed, and the truth reached where it needed to go. The bank. The company. And the lawyer who had once ignored me because I was a small case. I wasn't small anymore. I was a clean story. David received a notice. Caroline did too. They didn't come to my apartment. They went to court. The first time I saw them together again, they weren't laughing. David looked at me. I didn't meet his eyes. This wasn't my victory. My victory was the quiet confidence that had settled inside me, like I was finally sitting straight in my own chair. In the end, there was no cinematic miracle. I didn't get all the money back. What I got was peace. A small settlement. A clean record. And the thing I needed most, the certainty that I wasn't broken. I improved my job, started a small side gig, and opened an account in my own name, only my name. One day, I went back to the same grocery store. The same parking lot. The same air. David wasn't there. I didn't see Caroline either. I picked up milk, filled my bag, and sat in my car smiling. Silence was no longer weakness. It was my strength. And my decision was still steal. If this story moved you, even quietly, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these real, human stories reach more people who may need them. Thank you for listening till the end, for your time, and for being part of this growing community.